Fergus Falls, January the 5th. It's 5:30 in the City Council chambers, and we'll call upon Pastor Kate Bruns for the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. O Lord our God, you have blessed us with another new year. Grant wisdom and strength, we pray, to those elected leaders in our community. May they meet challenges with a balance of discernment and for what is just and what is compassionate. And may they seek opportunities that foster growth and also uphold traditions that are held dear in our community. They have been called to difficult tasks in challenging times. So may they be strengthened to be true to their principles and ever look to what your will is in the lives of their constituents. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
With that, I call the meeting to order. Roll call, please. Oh.
Yes. I think he's on there.
Mortensen?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Here.
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 Can you hear us, Mike?
Yes.
Thank you. The first item of business is open forum. Anyone wishing to speak to an item that's not on the agenda, please come forward to the lectern, state your name and the city in which you live. Thank
Wayne
you.
Cookman, live in the city of Fergus Falls. I'm going to introduce my daughter. She went to the Center of the Arts. She went to the theater, and I think that she has a little story to tell you.
Good evening, councilmen and councilwomen. My name is Natasha Evans. I'm from Rothsay, Minnesota. I want to thank you in advance for listening to my experience. Let me start by reading the online summary of what I came to talk to you about today. The show is called Celtic Holiday Hooey, and it's a warm, fuzzy moments for the whole holiday, or the whole family this holiday season. This lively variety show features Irish music, stories, comedy sketches, step dancing, caroling, and more. It's packed with laughs and surprises, including guest experiences from beloved holiday characters like the Grinch and even Santa Claus. Presented by the O'Shea Irish Dancers, known for their sold-out performances of Kickin' It Irish at the Chanhassen Dinner Theatres, with choreography and music by original river dancer Cormac O'Shea of Dublin. It's festive, fun, and perfect for all ages. After reading this, you would think that this would be kind of a Christian-based, fun family event, correct? Well, on December 20th, my husband and I went to this Celtic holiday hooey at the Center for the Arts here in downtown Fergus Falls. We had been to Dance and Dessert a few weeks prior for my birthday and thought it would be a fun way to support our community and spend time together. Our experience at the holiday Christmas hooey was abhorrent. The plot of this play or skit was a collection of smaller skits broken up between songs played in river dancing. The first half was full of fun skits, like a husband being interviewed trying to shop for a last-minute gift for his wife, or an adult trying to call into customer service to get assistance with very vague baking instructions from the baking company. The first distasteful skit was an insult on the third Magi as drunken sailors after intermission. As you can imagine, there was 3 males that depicted each Magi and took turns taking a poorly written part in smearing the Bible story as they displayed and waved goblets of beer in the air and pretended to be inebriated and belligerent to the point of having to lean on one another for support. The next skit, after some river dancing and music, was the male co-host making a long-winded stab at Luke 2 and the lineage of David, or more specifically, Jesus Christ. A few woke references, the popular 6-7, and making every name into a Mad Lib joke. Yeshua changed to yeah, sure, and did this with each name down the lineage of David. In a community where the city has prided itself and is noted as a very Christian community, this was appalling, not only for myself, but my family and friends as well. The justification the male co-host used for the assault on Christianity was his 13 years in Catholic school, where he met the other female co-host. As a city that has multiple Christian schools, along with a seminary school, it is disgraceful that the city would support a business that promotes values that conflict with the community. Your city dollars are being wasted on a facility that is coordinating with woke idealists that spit in our community's face and twist the Bible to sound like a fairy tale. If you continue to send funds to the Center for the Arts, I strongly encourage the funds to be restricted to fund better or educational plays for our community to enjoy, or redirect the funds to help citizens in needs at many other nonprofit companies in our community. Thank you again.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak at the open forum?
Good evening. My name is Jen Thonis. I live in Fergus Falls. Okay, so I would have had something prepared. However, this is kind of a last minute thing due to issues with property management. Again, today I currently live at Garrett's Grove, the building that is supposed to be for people in need and in crisis. We are facing multiple issues with current property management, as in keeping us stuck, setting us back, the limitations with which we can do things. I didn't know where else to come, so somebody suggested I come and I speak to you guys because this is where the funding is coming from. And since D.W. Jones has took over with our property management, it has gone from being home and having some kind of autonomy to having none at all, and it is being managed like it's a group home. When they took over, we had 18 house rules. Now we have 25 pages of them that we are supposed to adhere to. Today, one of the other residents in the building, his vehicle was dead, needed a jump, go to use jumper cables. We both got chewed out like we were toddlers, more or less, being reprimanded for it because it wasn't allowed. It's like, I know that this has been an issue and having issues with Garrett's Grove. However, it's my understanding when I read the city council meetings from prior to the building even being built that we were supposed to have the same rights as any tenant in any other property. We have no rights. We can't get them to input our addresses so we can get our own internet. We can't, there's so many things that we can't do. It's hard to say the things that we can, which is very, very minimal. It is, I myself personally feel like I am stuck. I moved back here because this was the last place that I had had a semblance of normalcy in my life before it fell apart. And trying to get back on my feet right now and being limited to, I don't want to leave my apartment. And when I do leave, I don't want to come home because it's not home anymore. Am I going to have a notice on my door for some kind of infraction for my lease? Is it going to be something that my dog did? Is it, not too long ago, they attempted to DNA test all of our dogs, which every person that has a dog in the building has a letter from a doctor to have said dog. Minnesota state law says that that is against the law. You're not allowed to do that. And yet she continued to try to do so. It, not making accommodations when the elevator is out for the one person who is in a wheelchair when he couldn't get in or out of his apartment because he didn't have access to it. I find things like that completely unacceptable, and it's not right. You'll have to forgive me, I'm really frustrated. Like, there's so many indiscretions that this property manager has made that I'm not gonna waste the entire meeting by stating them all. Because I'm not the only person having problems with her. It's lease violation after lease violation. A lot of us want to move forward, but when we can't even get our own internet, it makes a person feel childish, like we're not capable of doing anything. Not being able to have broken down vehicle, so if it's broke down, we're supposed to call a tow truck. Well, none of us have money for that. That's kind of why we live there. It defeats the principle of the purpose. They are evicting people who are in crisis for pretty much more or less for being in crisis, which I find appalling. That was the principle of the program, was to help people in crisis. So now you're going to throw them out because they're having a crisis? To me, it's defeatist, very much so. And
I think, I mean, obviously we can't this is the first that I've heard of it, and I think probably the first that anybody's heard of it. So I think obviously we will have to like look at it, and then we will contact you kind of more one-on-one. I think it's
Absolutely.
not something to kind of like discuss in public.
What's your name again?
Yeah,
ma'am?
can we get your? Can you leave your contact information
Oh, I
with some city
absolutely
staff?
can. That's not a problem.
Yep.
Thank you so much for
Okay.
hearing me.
No problem. Thank you.
Good luck.
Yeah. So, anyone else wishing to speak at the open forum? If not, then we'll move on to approval of the agenda. Al, you had something on the new business,
Yeah, just wanted to bring something up
Yep.
under new business, if I may.
and then was there any other changes to the agenda? If not, would somebody care to make a resolution to approve it?
I'll offer.
A motion. Thank you, Jim.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Laura. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those
Aye.
against, same sign. The motion is approved. There are no public hearings this evening. There are no awards of bids. And there are no petitions and communications. The next item is consent agenda. There's a motion approving the minutes from the December 16, 2025 City Council meeting, a motion approving licenses, a resolution designating the Daily Journal as the 2026 legal publication, a resolution designating the 2026 depositories, a resolution delegating the City Administrator, Finance Director, Assistant Finance Director, Payroll Officer, and Human Resource Manager the authority to make the 2026 electronic fund transfers on behalf of the City of Fergus Falls, and a resolution declaring items as surplus and authorizing their disposal. Would somebody care to make that resolution?
I'll offer that.
Thank you, Laura.
I can second that.
Thank you, Laurie. Roll call, please. Laurel. Laurie. Yeah.
Sorry.
There's too many L's in life.
Krameyer.
Yes.
Mortensen.
Yes.
Rachels.
Yes.
Kildee.
Yes.
Fish.
Yes.
Job.
Yes.
Kwame.
Yes.
Clayton.
Yes.
The resolution is approved. The next item is ordinance and resolutions. Let me just get to my page. The first one is a motion appointing the 2026 acting mayor as, obviously, I'm a, Al?
I'd like to make that motion, if I may.
Right, the motion to do what, sorry?
Appointing the 2026 acting mayor,
As whom?
Mark Layton.
Right. So we have a motion. Would somebody care to second that?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mike. Is that a roll call? A motion, or so it's verbal? So all those in favor of Mark Layton as acting mayor, say aye.
Aye.
Will you show your hands? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 5. 5. So the motion is approved. The next item on the agenda is a motion approving the 2026 mayor's council appointments. I just want to kind of add a couple of words to this. Basically, trying to streamline appointments. We have kind of removed three of the council appointees. Being HRA Senior Citizens and West Central Initiative. The objective of that is that, for example, the HRA are going to come in front of the council quarterly and give a report so that all council members get to hear as opposed to just one council member. We want to make kind of time productive and have, I think sometimes we have committees and meetings for meeting's sake, and if we can make it more efficient for us and for you, then that's a positive thing. And I am looking, should I say, at initiating an EDA group that would come back to the council with that when we have our council retreat and we have some unified direction on where we're going. And I would then look to say that, I would like to see us do more ad hoc committees, for example, like the Quick Trip, where there was a need in the community for a liaison on trying to get something done. Appoint a group that spearheads that, and they do their function and their job, and then basically kind of it disbands after the job is done. And that would be kind of my goal going forward, and I think it's something that we have to continue to review as life takes us. So then, reading out the appointments, Board of Equalization, which meets on April the 30th, 2026 at 9:30. Typically, this is a representative of one ward. It's important to the citizens of Fergus Falls. This is the one-time opportunity for them to, if they've got issues with their property tax, obviously they file that with the county, and then the county looks at it, and then the county holds a meeting with, obviously, the council members of the city of Fergus Falls, and those residents have the opportunity to defend their case as to why their property tax should go up or come down. Generally, they're looking at it to come down. And typically, this is just a flip-flop from, who was on it last year to this year. So Ward 1 would be Jim Fish, Ward 2 would be Scott Kwame, Ward 3 would be Mike Mortensen, Ward 4 would be Scott Rachels. Business Development for Fergus Falls would be Laurel Kildee, Fire Department Relief Association, Al Krameyer, Fire Department Trust Fund, Mike Mortensen, Golf Board, Scott Rachels, Investment Committee, Laurel Kildee, Legislative Committee, Scott Kwame and Mike Mortensen, Outer Express Joint Powers Board, myself and Scott Kwame. This is a new board, and obviously we would look. It only really got formed mid last year, and there's probably some benefits to continuity on that. Personnel Committee, Laura Jobe and Jim Fish. Tax Levy Committee, Laura Jobe and Mark Layton. Visit Fergus Falls, Scott Rachels. Port Authority, 7 in total, Laura Jobe, Scott Kwame, Scott Rachels, Al Krameyer, Mark Layton, Jim Fish, and Laurel Kildee. And with that, we will be looking for somebody to make that motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Thank you, Scott Rachels, and thank you, Al. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion is approved. And the next item is board and commission appointments. And again, we've reduced this by 3 committees by combining bicycle and pedestrian and natural resources with the park board, and removed the public safety. And I think that one is something that, it never met and did not actually do anything. So again, it's like we're committing people to do things that didn't happen. And so again, I think, there are some more active boards than others. The library one, with Gail being in the room, that's a very active board and does a lot of positive things for, the library. And, the park board the same, and the public arts one as well. And the heritage preservation, that one is also a positive one. The human rights has had quite a turnover of people, and there's a number of people that stepped up wanting to join that. And so hopefully that will be positive. And the Planning Commission, we have 4 new members on that. So hopefully we can get some stability back in Planning Commission with that. So with that, I'd look for somebody, I'm not going to read all those names, somebody to make that motion if they would.
I'll offer that, or, okay, I'll second.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Laurel.
The L team.
With that, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion is approved. Thank you very much indeed. The next item on the agenda is a resolution of sponsorship for the Transportation Alternatives Program grant. And this was something that got brought up in December regarding the crossings at, obviously, Service Food to Walgreens, the library to Magnuson Park, and the pedestrian portions of the rail crossings on South Union and Sheridan. And with that, I will turn it over to one of the table below. So I think Claire is going to go first, and then we will hear from Kyle.
Yes, indeed. We
Do
are
you still
working-
hear us, Mike?
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. Yes, Moore Engineering has been helping us put together our grant application, which is incidentally due on Friday. So we've got kind of a quick turnaround, but this is the Transportation Alternatives Program. We're also simultaneously doing an application to the Carbon Reduction Program. The two programs have very similar goals and application processes, and the money between the two programs is kind of interchangeable at the state level. So hence, we are applying for both in hopes that we get fully funded across both of the programs. We are looking tonight to get a couple resolutions accomplished that are going to accompany our application on Friday. The first is the sponsoring agency resolution that basically is saying that this council is agreeable to paying the local share that will be due once the projects come to fruition. These are projects that we're looking out into like 2029, 2030 in accomplishing. That's just the timeline of the grant program itself. And then the second resolutions, these are two separate items on your agenda, but I'll just cover them both quickly, is a resolution agreeing that once we do have these facilities built, these crossings, et cetera, that the city will maintain them in perpetuity. So the sponsoring agency resolution that's saying that you're going to commit to finding the local match that's required. We did talk about this back, I think it was in December, Mayor. I think you were correct about that. Both grant programs themselves cover only the cost of construction and then only 80% of that cost. So there will be 20% of construction costs plus the other costs that come along with a project that will be owed by the city when we get to the point of doing grant projects. Now, I will say that even if you're approving these tonight, there will still come a time when the grant agreement is coming through and you will have a chance to review that, see exactly what is required of the city, and you can make another decision at that time should you choose. But for our purposes of making an application, we do have to say that we are taking on the role of a sponsor of this project, and we will put forth the 20% that's required as the match. Going through some numbers, sorry that this was not in your packet, but it's been a very quick timeline, quick turnaround to get some of this information put together. Should we submit an application for all 4 of the crossings as have been presented, the local share would be somewhere around $330,000. So that would be the local match that would be covering the 20% of construction costs plus the, I don't know, is soft cost the right term, Kyle? Kind of the other costs that would come into play as a project is unfolding. And I don't know if you want to say a little bit more about that process or...
And I think maybe one thing to add is part of the cost of this is for, 2 crossings that are really connected with 4 railroad crossings that we're planning to do with the dairy, 2 with the dairy property, and then the 2 additional crossings that the railroad is requiring us to do. So this part of this grant, or half of this grant really, is towards those projects.
If somebody would probably care to make that resolution and second it, that we can have a discussion.
I'll second.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you, Scott.
I've just got one question. The cost when it comes to actually build this and to pay for it would likely be at least a year away, maybe 2? Or do you think this will come up sooner than that?
Yeah, the costs, again, these applications are for year 2029. So where we are going to come up with where are we coming from, we'll work with Bill in future budgets to figure out where those dollars come from.
Okay. And I can see where that would be an advantage for us for budgeting. But you mentioned the crossings for the dairy in particular, and I thought I guess I was expecting that we were going to move a little quicker on those crossings.
So the dairy property, those are areas we have to move quicker on. The railroad has said if you do those crossings, you have up to 5 years to do these additional crossings. So that's something we're going to work with the railroad as far as, is it cheaper to bid these out now and compare those costs with what type of grants we would get in the future to do them at a later date.
I recall that we had that 5-year window, but I think it helps to just have that explanation verbalized here
Correct,
again
yep.
for us. So thank you.
Laurel?
One question after we had our previous conversation on this from a citizen was, with sometimes when the rail crossings have been redone, on-street parking has been lost. Is that something that we anticipate with any of this redoing these crossings? Or do we not know yet?
We do not know yet. We have not dug into the design of what that looks like yet, so not sure of what that will look like.
That can be we can have conversation on that in the planning
Yeah,
process.
now that we know about it, we can hopefully, okay, let's look at that as we design these.
I think in terms of both of these crossings, there really
shouldn't be
there isn't a lot of residential parking there now, because the Sheridan one, you've got hikers on one side, and then you've got the U-Haul and an electrical.
It was in regards to the dairy area.
The dairy area, that one's already defined.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
you know, this money would be for South Union and Sheridan. So I don't think there'd be any loss on South
those two,
Union.
right.
Yeah. Dwayne?
You said the crossings on the dairy have already been defined. Have you already defined the Glacier Edge Trail?
They're in, not fully. Yeah, the trail is, but the connection from the trail to, well, defined on the dairy property is only where they're going to go, and that's kind of it. But yep, no. Any other questions? If not, roll call, please.
Yes.
Mortensen.
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
And then the next item is the resolution agreeing to maintain such crossings once they're done. If somebody would care to make a resolution to that.
I'll offer that.
Thank you, Jim. Would somebody care
I'll
to second
second
it? Thank you, Scott. Roll call, please.
Kremeyer.
Yes.
Mortensen.
Yes.
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 No.
The resolution is approved. The next item is the resolution approving a change order to PI 5367, the Trunk Highway 210 utility project, and I will call upon Kyle.
Thank you, Mr. Meyer, City Council. Tonight in front of you for approval, we have a change order for the Trunk Highway 210 project that is currently being constructed. As we were constructing the project, the contractor ran into some changes. Changes on the project were due to the design engineer using utility information from the city and it being underground not being as accurate as they needed it to be. So because of that, there was some changes on the sanitary sewer where to make it tie in and flow correctly after they did the work there with the new manhole, they had to add an additional 80 feet of sanitary sewer replaced on the project. And then there was a water main crossing at that went by one of the city's sanitary force mains because there's a lift station over there. The elevation of the force main was not at the elevation that they thought it was, so they had to do a water main lowering, which included additional work. And then there was a tie-in for an existing water main where the water main was off about 10 feet underground, which caused them to have to reroute some water main in a different spot. So that is the reason for the change order. So tonight we're asking for a change order approval in the amount of $58,435.60.
Would somebody care to make that resolution and second
I'll offer it, Your Honor.
Thank you, Scott. Would somebody care to second it?
I'll second.
Thank you, Scott. Discussion? I suppose the one question is the funding of this.
So relating to the water, that would certainly be the water fund.
Correct.
Is it all water?
This is, no,
Water and-
sanitary, sewer, and water.
Yep, so it'll be split on their proportions between water and sewer.
Existing funds? Right.
And this is still within the contingency.
It is.
Yeah.
With that, roll call, please.
Creemeyer.
Yes.
Mortensen.
Yes.
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 The resolution is approved. The next resolution is approving a change order to the decommissioning and demolition of the ground storage reservoir. And again, over to Kyle.
All right, Mr. Mayor, City Council. So this is a change order on the decommission of the ground storage reservoir project. Again, another situation where the design engineer looked at city as-built for this project. This was an old project. The existing utilities were put in a long time ago. There were multiple plans that they went off of that showed differing conditions where the water main was. So they used that information, and when they got out on site, and it was a messy area. There was a lot of pipes in the area, and we had to get Public Works out there to kind of help field design it as it went, but it included adding additional water main onto the project to tie that in, and then an additional flap gate on the project. So there's additional work. I did go back to Interstate Engineering to ask some additional information from the contractor to look at the amount of time and the materials that were used on the project. So we did get that from the contractor. I did go through those, concur with those. And so today we have a change order for that contractor in the amount of $51,017.53, asking for your approval.
Would somebody care to make that?
I'll make it again.
Thank
Same
you, Scott.
project.
Second.
Thank you, Scott. Discussion?
Your Honor, please.
Yep.
Kyle, were those change orders, labor-wise and material-wise, appropriate, you believe?
Yes, they were.
Obviously legitimate and not
Correct.
if you will, exceeding what the initial bid was.
Yep. And that's why I asked on that one to get that information, because when I got the cost, seemed high to me, so we wanted to verify that, hey, this is really what happened out there. Does it make sense?
How do we avoid this in the future?
Better as-built.
That would help. There's some different things we can do. One way would be to, could we pothole ahead of time to maybe check and see where some of these are before design. But again, that's spending money up front then to be able to do that.
If we were to pothole there, would it have been $50,000? I mean, I'm throwing you under the bus here,
Probably
but-
not.
Yeah. But the point being, on these bigger projects, we understand every city has issues with their underlying utility maps. Some of them are in rock, and some of them are on, facts and what have you. So
Correct.
we spoke before about how to track this and how to pothole it so that these things don't happen. This is
Right.
a $50,000 deal. That's 15% of the project.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And I think it's important to make sure that we're doing our due diligence up front to keep these minimized. There's things that, if they're on top of the ground, we can go out and check those things. When they get to be underground, 8-10 feet underground, sometimes it's difficult.
Yep, I understand.
So as much, if we could do some of that potholing, if we have the time, if we have the ability to do that, that would be one way to maybe minimize some of these issues.
Yeah, that's all I'm asking, sir. Thank you very
Yep.
much.
Any other questions? If not, roll call, please.
Kramer.
Yes.
Mortensen.
Yes.
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 The resolution is approved. The next item on the agenda is a resolution introducing a land sale for the parcel of 7100-399-1538000. And just for kind of people's benefit, this is the land that's on Tower Road between Hardware Hank and I believe something else. Progress Drive, yep. So we would be looking to have action of accepting a letter of intent for the sale of this piece of land at the price of $127,000, and to authorize the city attorney to make a.
No, that's the wrong one.
Oh, sorry, it's, yeah, that's the Port
78,
Authority one, yeah,
78
sorry.
or
Yeah.
87.
It's because they put it in there for the language. It would be
78.
for $78,000. And the would be to accept the LOI of the land sale between the City of Fergus Falls and Northwoods Residential Services, LLC, and to authorize a purchase agreement be drafted to include development up to 2 years from the closing on the deal. With
I'll
that,
introduce
Offer
that.
Your Honor.
thank you, Jim. Scott, were you second?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so we have a resolution introducing a land sale. This will come back again in 10 days if it's approved this evening at the next council meeting. Any other questions on it? If not, roll call, please.
Kramer.
Yes.
Mortensen.
Yes.
Rachels.
Yes.
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 The resolution is approved. The next item on the agenda is a resolution authorizing the engagement of a TIF consultant contingent upon the requester paying the TIF application fee and escrow. And again, this is to do with the land that we've just talked about, sale, and as well as in conjunction with that of the Port Authority approved earlier this evening. And it would be authorizing staff to seek pricing and turnaround time from a municipal advisory firm for financial analysis of a proposed economic development TIF district and engage services upon receipt of TIF application and required fees. Claire, I don't know if you have anything that you wish to add. If not, I would look for somebody to make that resolution.
I'll offer that.
Thank you, Laurel.
I'll second.
Thank you, Jim. Any further discussion? This will come back once we get the bids and prices. This will come back to council for approval of said contract.
Thank you for answering my question. This is going to RFP. There'll be,
It's not an RFP as such, but we're requesting from more than one person.
perfect.
So,
And then is there a cost of this process?
There
And
is
if
a-
if this entity is hired, who pays for that person?
the developer.
Thank you.
So it would be Northwoods Residential LLC.
Thank you.
With that, roll call, please.
Kramer.
Yes.
Mortensen. Mortensen.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
The resolution is approved. The next item on the agenda is a resolution ordering the preparation of feasibility report on PI 5966, Cavour Avenue, Union to Cascade. And this would be over to our city engineer, who's already at the podium, ready and waiting to go.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council. And we can really talk about all three of these at the same time, but they will have to be three separate resolutions. And these will be for the Cavour, Cleveland, and Douglas projects. And what this is doing is, this is a resolution authorizing us to prepare the engineer's report, a feasibility report. This will start the process so that we're able to do special assessments on these projects. So tonight would be authorizing us to prepare the report. we will put the report together, and then we will bring that and show that to the city council, which will go through all of the costs and feasibility of the project. Once we have that, and we'll ask for approval of that at the next council meeting. Once we have that, then we'll go into doing public hearings for those affected residents. We'll have public hearings for those people so that we can go through what the project is, what's going to be happening in their areas, and what all the costs are associated with assessments, and what the fees will be, and what will be happening. And we'll get those set up next month, and then keep moving forward with that. So tonight, we will need a resolution ordering the preparation of feasibility report for each one of these projects.
So would somebody care to make one for the Cavour Avenue? We'll deal with that one first. Thank you, Laura.
I'll second.
Thank you, Jim. So we have a resolution ordering the preparation of feasibility report for PI 5966 Cavour Avenue to Union to South to Cascade. With that, any other questions? Yeah.
Thanks, Kyle. You're talking about the budgetary for the public. What are these costs? What is this going to cost the city for your services on this project, on the preparation?
The total fee for the engineering costs will be 15% of the construction fee. I don't have it sitting in front of me, but this was approved. Our contract for this was approved a while ago, and this is all part of that fee.
Yeah, so that's inside the 15%.
Correct.
That's what I was looking for. Thank you very much.
With that, roll call, please.
Kremeyer.
Yes.
Mortensen.
Yes.
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 The resolution is approved. The next resolution ordering the preparation of feasibility report on PI 5964 Cleveland Avenue. Refer to Franklin, if somebody would care to make
Call out
that.
for that.
I'll
Thank you,
second that.
Scott. And Al, second. With that, any other questions? The same as Kyle said, it's basically the same. With that, roll call, please.
Kremeyer.
Yes.
Mortensen.
Yes.
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 The resolution is approved. The final one is a resolution ordering the preparation of feasibility report on PI 5967 Douglas Avenue, Calvin to Union. So who would like to do that one?
I can do that.
Okay, thank you,
I'll second it.
Laurel and Scott. Seeing as it's Ken your board, I believe. With that, roll call.
Kremeyer.
Yes.
Mortensen.
Yes.
Rachels.
Yes.
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 That resolution is approved.
Wait a
Sorry?
minute. Yes.
What?
Last two don't count.
No. It's,
We got five. We're
it's on
good.
Mark and Scott.
I don't care.
No. I was in automatic mode.
Yes.
And Lee.
Yes.
Oh, heck yeah.
Mr. Mayor, did you have a good New Year's?
Yep, I did. And I'll be able to celebrate better next year when there's 6 English people in Fergus Falls. So, that resolution is approved. Thank you, Council Member Kwame and Leighton, for joining. You were sitting on the sidelines there, and obviously not paying attention. So. The next item on the agenda is a presentation of claims in the amount of $2,536,306.28. Would somebody care to...
I'll offer the resolution to pay the bills.
Thank you, Jim. And would somebody care to support that resolution?
I'll support it.
Thank you, Scott. Any questions of our finance director? If not, roll call, please.
Kremeyer.
Yes.
Mortensen.
Yes.
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 What was the 5th item on the list, Bill? Yes.
The resolution is approved. There is no old or unfinished business. Councilmember Kremeyer had something he wanted to bring up under new business.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think, is pretty common news that, our taxes are going up in the city of Fergus Falls and in Otter Tail County. And I do know that there is a group of elected officials that have taken a 4.5% pay raise, voted on it on themselves. Except out of that group, there were two that voted no. Even though it passed, they declined the extra money. In my opinion, that's true leadership for our community, for our county. We need to learn from this. That's why I'd like us to think about this as a council and mayor, that we take a 5% decrease in what we get paid. And I'd like to see that money go towards any type of an account that we could put into economic development to help everybody, every taxpayer in this city, and hopefully help out Otter Tail County. Now, I don't know, maybe there's some rules that we can't change, decrease or increase pay, but since it's the first meeting of the year, I think that's a pretty good way to start it out if we can. I know we can't vote on it tonight, but maybe in 2 weeks, I'd like to see that happen. If possible, Rolf, you probably know all the rules and regulations, or Andrew, but as far as a council and a mayor, I'd like to see us take a 5% pay cut and that money go into some type of an account for economic development to show that this is about the people of Fergus Falls. And I would strongly recommend this. I think it shows great leadership and that we're very sincere that we want this city to thrive. Thank you.
Thank you. I think I'll get Rolf to look at that, and
Thank you.
we can move on. We'll look into it. The next item is miscellaneous announcements. January 14th will be a committee of the whole meeting. January 19th will be a holiday closure for the observation of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So again, we will get back into the garbage upcycling deal where normal garbage that would be picked up on Monday will be picked up on Tuesday, and Tuesdays will be picked up on Wednesday. It would be nice to have a couple of weeks of normal garbage. January 20th, City Council meeting. We are going to adjourn shortly for threatened litigation, but I just have one other thing that, obviously in city ordinance, there is kind of like, we ask residents to clear their footpaths or sidewalks in front of their house. I think overall, I would commend the vast majority of citizens that do that. But there's probably around 5 to 10% of people that don't. And then you see comments on Facebook about people walking on the roads. Well, one of the reasons you end up walking on the road is because you can't traverse, the footpaths. And I think, if you live next door to an elderly resident that struggles, at least, maybe that's a good citizenship to clean at least clean the sidewalk for them. And, and if you're family members of somebody that's elderly or struggles, with some disability that can't clear it, it would make a great, Christmas present to pay for snow clearing during the winter, because most people, when they get geriatrics like me, we don't really need a whole lot. But if somebody paid to have my sidewalk cleared, that would be a great gift. So, if anybody can do that, that would be great. And I know we have an ordinance, and Guy isn't here tonight, but I think, it's to a point now whereby some of these need to be enforced, that we need to go out and clear, because, from a public safety point of view, slips, trips, and falls are the biggest cost of injury, and people are going to kind of do that. And so with that,
I have one thing.
Yeah, go on.
I want to answer Councilmember Krahmeyer's question here real quick.
Thank you.
The charter gives us guidance on this, section 2.05, which is titled salaries, and that reads, "The members of the council shall serve with reasonable compensation. The council, by ordinance, may change the annual salary of its members, and such ordinance shall take effect after the regular city election next following adoption of such ordinance. So there is a process.
Okay.
So, thank you. Thank you.
And then I have an announcement after you're done.
And now I was going to say we're going to adjourn to a closed meeting to discuss threatened litigation as allowed by Minnesota Statute 13D.05, subdivision 3, brackets B. And we will not be opening back up again. So Al, after you.
Just one announcement, and I was visited by Bob Noah today. He's usually here at our meetings, and he participates many times in the meetings as a Ward 3 resident, which is my ward. Just wanted to let you know that he came out with a new book, and he's been a great supporter of the city. And this is a book about poetry and stories when you need them most. It's by Robert John Noah. It's called The Heart Chamber, and maybe Gail will have one of those in the library, or a couple at some point in time. But I just want to give a little shout out to Bob, just due to the fact that he is a great supporter of our city. And there's a lot of talented people in this city. And I would like to thank all of them that can bring something to the table for everyone here as residents. So I appreciate that very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Al. With that, we will be closing this portion of the meeting.